Hey guys, it's Roxy with Roxie's Broadway Breakdown. Welcome back to my channel, and today I want to talk about costumes in musicals because costumes can really enhance your whole experience of the musical. So I want to talk about some of my favorite ones. When you think about the black and white iconic dress that Eliza Doolittle wears in the Ascot number, that alone can conjure up like the entire image of the musical. You know exactly what you're thinking of when you see the silhouette of that black and white dress of Eliza Doolittle. When you think about just the color palette of blue and yellow versus magenta and reds, the fiery color of that, you know immediately it's jets versus sharks. When you think about like the gold sparkly costumes at the end of a chorus line, you immediately think of the music of One. When you picture like slinky black costumes and fishnet hose and the black derbies, I immediately picture Chicago and anything Bob Fosse. And then sometimes actors say like, once they put on the costume, that was sort of the final thing that helped them become the character. And when you think of a show like Cats, of course, I mean, Cats really, like when you see actors in those cat costumes, I mean, you really aren't watching people anymore. I mean, as odd as that sounds, they really just blend into the set and you think you're watching cats. And they're also individualized. Like when you think of little Victoria, the white kitten, and versus Rum Tum Tugger, the rock star cat, I mean, it really is like watching these cats in a junkyard. Or Julie Taymor, the genius behind Lion King, who directed and did the costume design. When that show starts and all the animals come down the aisles, you really are transported to the Serengeti. I mean, you really don't feel like you're watching people. You really feel like you have, you know, come into this world of animals now. I mean, the people are completely gone and it's animals that you are watching. So sometimes, you know, costumes can completely help transport you to another world. Hamilton, I love the costumes in Hamilton because they're so fresh and modern. I mean, they do look like they fit in the 1700s, especially the ensemble. They're in those tan military costumes like the Revolutionary period, but they're sleeveless and but you know, they have a freshness about them and they're contemporary to match Lin-Manuel's fantastic music. So I love something like that. Very unique, very imaginative. And most recently I went to see like Six, and I just loved these costumes of the queens. They were so individualized and, you know, with their color palettes, they had their own individual silhouettes. They obviously all matched each other. You knew they were all from the same show, but they had all their individual color palettes and silhouettes, and they were stoned just beautifully, but so individualized so they could tell their individual story. I just love that. And then this week I went to see Moulin Rouge. I went to see the national tour of Moulin Rouge, and talk about eye candy, the costumes and the sets and the lights. But Catherine Zuber was just genius with these costumes. Some were like hand painted, some were embroidered, and like, I love it. It was, I mean, obviously a lot of them, I mean, it was to match the times, the time period of Moulin Rouge, but you know, they were fresh and modern to obviously also match the music. So, I mean, that's what costumes can do. They can obviously enhance a show. And then sometimes costumes can be a distraction. Like with Devil Wears Prada, the musical. That was a huge critique of the show, that the costumes and wardrobe were awful, which if you're gonna do Devil Wears Prada, that needs to be so fashion forward. But they unfortunately didn't get like the permission of Prada to use like the logos or the fashion. And if you're gonna wear you know, if you're going to do Devil Wears Prada, hello, you're going to need to do that fashion. So unlike the movie, where the movie, you know, it was just, you love seeing what fashion or what costume, you know, Anne Hathaway or Meryl Streep was going to, you know, wear next. And if you're going to do that musical, you really need to be on your game as far as the fashion and what costume you're going to come out with next. So that's where, obviously, you know, the costume can detract from the musical. All right, so if you have any favorite costumes that you love from musicals, let me know in the comments below. Please subscribe to my channel, check out all my other videos, and I'll see you in the next.